We often come across people who are not in full employment. It's easy for a full-time employee to manage their expenses and save money. But when it comes to a class of people increasingly who are freelancers, they work for multiple projects, they work in their leisure, they find great joy in managing their personal affairs as well as contributing professionally at their own choice. These are whom we call freelancers. It could be a gig economic worker, as we call it today's day and age, or it could be that software techie who is doing multiple consultancy in his given day. Now, all these people today form part of our economy and they're all working to make us proud. But often I come across these freelancers always complaining that they don't have a steady cash flow. As a result, they are unable to kind of save or invest any money. Now, that got me thinking, how can we work with some of these freelancers or people who get not a regular source of income but a very uneven source of income, to how we can help them plan and invest? That's really what this video is all about. But first, who are freelancers? Freelancers are people who take up various assignments during the course of their days at various points in time. So they're not working for one employer, they would work on multiple jobs. They are paid by the amount of work that they deliver, and there's a lot of work, especially in the digital world, that are given away to these part-time people who can contribute to the project. Now, these are people who don't get a salary check at the end of the month, but get paid for every project that they do. It could be a slightly longer project covering a couple of weeks. It could be a much shorter one as well. But they would be working on multiple contracts, which means that they would be making enough money, if not more, than a regular employee. They're just not sure how much money will come, when it will come, and in what proportion it will come. So 1 month could be a great month, the next month could be a dull month, and the third month could be back to business, so on and so forth. One of the great difficulties some of these people find is to find a mid-path wherein they can start their investing journey. Now, this is what we believe you must be doing if you're a freelancer. First, start tracking both your income and expenditure. If you track your income from where all it is coming, what proportion it is coming, what days it is coming for 3 months, you will have a pretty standard idea of how your incomes are coming and how they are likely to come over the next 9 months in a year. It may vary, but broadly it will be in that ballpark. Next, if you also tracked your expenditure, and your expenditure can be divided into the necessary, which is the needs, and the desirable or the wants. The needs are rental, food and clothing basics, and whatever be your children's education fees, so on and so forth. These are all needs. The wants are stuff which you would like to do if you had the surplus. So which is going for a restaurant with family, going for a movie with friends. All of these are also wants. So if you can track these in a 3-4 months horizon, you will get a pretty good idea of what your lifestyle is all about. And therefore, you can slowly start understanding what is the bare minimum amount that you can start putting aside on a month-on-month basis. But before you do that, also consider taxation, because as a freelancer, you will need to file your taxes and pay income tax on that. So don't take all the income as your own income. Ultimately, at the end of the year, need to file your returns and pay for taxes as well. Also ensure that before you start investing long term, you build an emergency corpus. Remember, you're a freelancer. Your income month on month is not guaranteed. So it makes sense to create an emergency corpus, say for 3 months or 4 months, so that just in case the cash flow is not even in the future, you can always dip into your emergency funds as well. That said, I think it's important for you to arrive at a certain bare minimum investments that you can start doing. My guess is that if you observed your cash flow carefully for 3 months, you can start investing from the fourth month onwards. Now, we took a small example of one of the accounts that we had privilege of. Of course, I'm not for secrecy's sake sharing the client name and details, but I'm sharing you the cash flow so that you can understand what this is all about. So in this case, this client was an IT professional who was on his own. He was working on multiple projects, but those projects weren't paying him money on a month-on-month basis. They would come at lumps at various points in times. In the example that we are seeing, the first month the client had made a surplus of 65,000 rupees based on his actual expenses. The second month, unfortunately, there was no billing. As a result, all the cash flow that he had generated in the first month got exhausted the second month, leaving him with hardly a surplus of 5,000 rupees. The third month, he had a bumper month, and therefore the surplus grew from 5,000 to 1,15,000. And thereafter, he was kind of able to stabilize. And at various points in times, his income kept going. So the idea is, after the fourth month, there was about 3.6 lakhs that he had as a surplus. And based on his run rate of expenses, we are aware that 3.6 lakhs consists of maybe 2 or 3 months of his expenses. Therefore, it is possible at that point in time for this client to start investing at least 30,000-40,000 rupees every month thereafter and manage his cash flow. And we had done that, and over a period of time, the client became comfortable with the idea that although there was a lumpiness in his pay that he was receiving at various points in time, he had built up enough reserves so that he could pay for his needs and wants and invest for his future as well. Now, that's where I think it's extremely important for you to plan. So, this question of I am a freelancer, I don't have a regular cash flow, therefore I cannot invest my money is no longer an excuse, my friend. Figure out a way to start tracking your income and expenditure, and believe me, in 90 days you can get started.